Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of GNN. Today is March 7th, 2023, and we have another banner night on our hands here. But before we get into the details of our brand new mobile suit, let's go over some news. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to our main event, we have GBO days kicking off right now during the first Wednesday and Saturday of each month. Now, of course, this is based on JST, Japanese Standard Time. Now, what that means is we have a special month campaign, which follows with a free pull up to 4 times. So one free pull every week, which is always cool, and we love free stuff here. And then we do have a special supply drop campaign for 2 guaranteed 3-star or above mobile suits, and it can be requested once, but this one you do have to pay for. So if you're not interested in the main suit that's we're going to be showcasing in a bit, you do have that as an opportunity to get some other things. Of course, it is randomized, but do it at your own discretion, I should say. In addition to that, we do get some basic rewards such as the XP, dueling points, and clan points. After battles, the rewards are doubled, so that's pretty cool. And then if you're a returning player or a brand new player, that is increased 5 times as well, so that's pretty nice. And then you also get the 100% discovery rate for recon crates, so it's really nice. And then anybody that's part of your party or lobby, or actually, sorry, not lobby, but part of your team, you get that as well, so it's pretty nice. But basically, for those of you that are kind of new to that or just joining in, we do have details on the new suit, which is the one that has been mentioned in the past, and it's finally here. It is the Ingrid Zero Gaplant from Johnny Raiden, the Johnny Raiden MSV manga related stuff. Jumping into some other things, we do have a limited reissue for the Rosen Zulu. So those of you guys that missed out on this interesting support, yeah, it's a support, I still can't get over it. This is your extra chance to get it, so it's pretty neat. We do have some changes to the DP exchange counter as follows. The level 4 Xiong, which I believe this brings it up to 700. The 700 Xiong is added, and then the Pale Rider Cavalry, which my memory is really spotty with the iteration. I know it's a native 350, but I think this is 500 for level 4, is now in DP store. So interesting stuff. No recycled ticket changes, so on to our main event here. It is a raid unit, 600 cost, 3-star, modified compliant, piloted by Ingrid Zero, known as Johnny Raiden, an ace pilot of the Zeon Army. We know the details. Anyways, basically, Johnny Raiden was missing in action after the events of Abaoku, and it actually has a larger movable shield. Very different design compared to the stock plant, which is also a raid, but that is natively a 550 unit. So has a larger shield binder, and it does have a mega beam cannon mode when in transform mode, so it's able to push out a lot more damage in transform mode. And this is obviously a suit that is usable in ground and space. It does get a unique skill called High Boost Ram Attack level 2, which increases the damage output, but while it's transform and maintaining a high speed movement boost speed and the power of ram attacks. In addition, damage taken and staggered due to cumulative damage will reduce, so it has a means of reducing damage and I think a little bit of stagger from, like, say, machine guns with anything that has stun build, in addition to the fact that it has, you know, shock dampener. So it's gonna be potentially a counter to the likes of the Assault DJ, the assault package that recently came out, just because that has a lot of stun build potential. But it's gonna be interesting to see how that faces off, because the assault package does deal with, I wouldn't say the S Gundam directly, but it's more like anti-Atlas and like Angsha, which is at the same cost. So we'll see. If you are doing 10 pulls for this, you do get a chance to get the lovely Ingrid Zero pilot suit, the normal suit, both the helmet and the outfit. If you're doing 10 pulls, pretty cool stuff for the most part. But if not, that's okay. So on to the lovely nitty-gritty details of our Gaplant here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the new Gaplant, the Ingrid Zero version. Now, of course, I was unlucky in getting this, but we did get a chance to check this out from another source. Now, of course, this version has a little bit of tuning already, but jumping into details really quick, let's look at the stats of 22k base HP, 20 in ballistic, 32 in beam, and 24 in melee resistance, which means for me, a player that plays this quite a bit, it does offer a little bit of room to kind of fine-tune stuff to your liking as far as resistances go. It is a predominantly melee suit, which we'll get into the details of the weapon shortly, but 20s in range, 40s in melee. It's going to be slapping pretty hard if you get caught by it, especially for your support. Looking into like the movements, very much the movement of the suit. 145, not quite as fast as our lovely boy, the Sutrum Gallus, aka Little Mac there. 145 still pretty quick. It is like a tad slower than behind the Psycho Zaku Mark II. High speed is at 225. I believe cap is at 240, so I think in transform mode, just to kind of check things out, we are shy of cap. But yeah, cruising speed in transform is 185, so that's pretty nutty. Comes with a healthy amount of thruster gauge at 80 with a turning speed of 75, but of course when you're transformed, your turning radius is pretty bad. But anyways, going into the main weapon here, we have the beam rifle version or configuration of the side binders, base power of 2100, 80% heat rate at an effective range of 400 meters with a 3.5 second cooldown time between shots and a 15-second overheat. Can't really change the primary at all, obviously, for obvious reasons, but it's shoot to stun. Primary melee is a beam saber emitted from the binders as well. Base power 2500 with a 2.5 second cooldown time. Now, of course, it won't be a Gaplant without the burst fire mode on here, so we have the burst fire configuration on the beam rifles there. Base power of 600, 25% heat rate at an effective range of 350 meters. 8/10 of a second cooldown time, sorry. I saw 0.8 and I was like, that's 8/10, right? Yeah. 20-second overheat and a 2.5 second focus time, so I'm guessing you can burst fire it for extra suppression, but I think the normal fire might be the way to go too. Hard to say. I haven't played around with this at all. But we do have sub-sabers as well, which kind of differentiates from the stock Gaplant. Base power of 2900 with a 3-second cooldown time. So this is probably going to be something to finish off or lead in with. Although depending on if you're able to juggle people with the melee, you know, 2.5, 3 seconds isn't a big gap, but it would be a significant gap if you're trying to follow up with and try to chain combo your melees as much as possible. So it's going to be pretty interesting to play out with that. We do have 17s, 18s, and 9s respectively in the parts slot there. So definitely seems to be a lot of room. Can't really expand on the range side of things, but that's okay. It's not meant to do that. One thing to note before we get into the shopping list of skills that this suit has, we do have some notable things pertaining to its melee-oriented nature. which includes thruster upgrades, and we're looking at melee modifiers as well. The only thing that it gets defensive-wise is a +1 to its anti-beam modifier, which, if you're trying to min-max, I guess that kind of helps about. Alright, so comes with level 3 Assault Booster, and back at level 2 it has MA2 as well as Force Injector 2. Only comes with 2 swings, which I guess it's fine. I wouldn't think something like this would need a melee combo too, considering it already has 2 melees, but a certain modified DJ had 2 swings to begin with, and they decided to give it 3 swings. I don't know. Anyways, it does come with offensive system, so this is gonna be one of those suits that, if you love your melee suits, this might be the one for you. Seems like it does everything that the Gaplant does, but a little bit better. Won't say anything. Seems like it's anything super exciting, because the stuff that it comes with so far seems like it's par for the course. Flight Control 3, definitely very useful for a lot of that aerial combat. I am kind of somewhat surprised it doesn't come with aerial melee skills, just like the Anxia, and I think the recent Zeta-3A as well. But, you know, I'm not complaining here. I'm just kind of interested to see that, considering it has a lot of that aerial combat deal going for it. It does come with Damage Control 1, so that's pretty nice, helping with the stagger accumulation effects. And it has a bunch of buffers, which is nice, especially if you're going toe-to-toe with a fellow raid. Back buffers and leg buffers at 2, with the arm binders at 3, so that's going to be really nice to kind of shrug off additional attacks. So it's going to probably be beneficial to try to go for the head this time to get like the max damage out of here. But yeah, basically from what I'm seeing so far is it's, you know, just at face value right now, it's basically the better version of the Gaplant. Improved significantly, because it's just that way. Going into 550, let's see if I even have a Gaplant here really quick. Oops. Wow, I don't have one in this. So it's pretty cool to see that they've gone out of their way to, I guess, not only improve, like, say, a base version of a suit, but, like, it gives them the opportunity to essentially bring in more unique versions or more unique variants of said suits, just because, as I mentioned earlier, that this is one of those suits that people have been, I wouldn't say they've been asking, but we know that BB Studios likes to release different variants, different variations, and that's all cool, because a lot of the suits that have been kind of locked into sort of the different media scopes of the Gundam franchise, a lot of movies, a lot of manga, a lot of comics, games, limited in games for the most part, we're now able to see it here and kind of see it in action. It's just really cool to kind of see that representation there. Alright folks, with that said, that concludes the recap of our most recent banner, the Gaplant Ingrid 0 usage. If you guys found this video informative and entertaining, please don't hesitate to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us out immensely. But more importantly, what do you guys think of the new suit? Is this something that you're going to be pulling on? Is this a pass or is this a go? Have you guys ran into it? Is it great? Is it a pain in the butt? I'd like to hear what you guys think about it, what your experiences with the new suit is. And until next time, guys, I will see you guys all on the next video. Take care.